Welcome to Ironbound Insights. I'm Vic DeLuca, your host. This evening we're in O Campino's restaurant where the Essex County Committee to Stop the Garbage Incinerator is having a fundraising dance. We're going to see some people speaking about the issue, and please stay with us because we're going to be live right here in O Campino's restaurant talking about the dangers of the garbage incinerator, which is planned for the Ironbound section in Newark. Stay with us.
My name is Arnold Cohen, and I'd like to welcome everybody to our fundraising dinner dance for the Essex County Committee to Stop the Garbage Incinerator. As you all know, Port Authority and Essex County Executive Peter Shapiro have this insane idea that they want to put a garbage incinerator in our neighborhood here in the Ironbound. We're organizing to fight the placement of this garbage incinerator in the Ironbound. Tonight's fundraiser is one in a series of many events to fight this incinerator. We had with us earlier this evening East Ward Councilman Martinez, who will lead the fight in the City Council, and Freeholder Parlavecchio also was here earlier this evening. And this Wednesday evening at the Board of Freeholders in Bloomfield Town Hall, Mr. Parlavecchio will introduce legislation against the garbage incinerator. We'd like to invite everyone here to join us and meet at St. Benedict's at 7 p.m. and go together to that meeting to speak against the garbage incinerator. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of another elected official, Assemblyman Willie Brown, who's with us tonight.
Good evening. Let us join together in prayer. Eternal and gracious God, we have come to this place from many walks of life, from varied expressions of religious belief, from racial and cultural diversity. But we are gathered for one major purpose: to acknowledge and celebrate our unity as persons dedicated to good stewardship of the beautiful earth you have entrusted to human care. With gratitude, we celebrate the victories that have been won. In hope, we pray for strength, courage, and wisdom for the struggles yet to come. Bless this food that we share, the hands which have prepared it, and each person who serves and who receives. Amen.
I'm now with Arthur Rosa, who's a businessman here in the Ironbound and throughout Newark. Arthur, do you think this incinerator will harm the Ironbound?
Yes, I do, both in the sense that the taxes are going to go up. Someone has to pay for this incinerator, and the money surely is not going to come from any other source than the property taxpayers. And if someone comes in with any other ideas as to how this is going to be paid, I'm the first one to want to be informed as such.
Do you think the property values will go down?
You take a site like the Thomas Street site where you had this fight going on to remove the barrels. I have a property listed right next door. Any other place in the Ironbound, this property would be worth $100,000. I can't even get 15 for it. You have the same situation on Delancey Street. You have a Mr. Morgado who can't even keep his tenants there for more than a month. And I fear that once this incinerator, if it ever gets to be built, and I sure like hell is not going to let it be built, feel that this will be affect all of the property values, so that Mr. Morgado and this property on the Thomas Street are not going to be the only ones.
Do you think that the health of Ironbound residents will also be affected negatively?
This is what frightens me the most, is the fact that we already have according to the state, the highest levels of lead. Now, even the state advocate has come out and stated that if this incinerator goes up, we will have 5 times as much. So this is the cause of child defects, affects the nervous system. So if this incinerator is built, if we already are at a danger point, what will happen to us as far as our health? This really frightens me because I have 5 children. I have my parents here, I have my family, and the last thing I wanted is their health to be affected. And you have the state at the moment who has claimed in the past, along with Essex County, that these incinerators do not give out dioxin. Yet the state of New Jersey is now suing Pennsylvania for the fact that the Pennsylvania incinerators are bringing dioxin into the state of New Jersey.
Do you think the Portuguese community will unite against this incinerator proposal?
Well, you see them here tonight. We're just beginning to organize, but the people are informed, more and more are coming forward, both with money. They're starting to register. In the last 4 weeks, we registered over 1,000 people. And what brought us together is this garbage incinerator. So the support out there for the Ironbound Community Against Toxic Waste and now the Essex County Community Against Toxic Waste is unbelievable among the Portuguese. We have a new organization called the Portuguese Congress, or Portuguese American Congress, and they have a representative here tonight. They spoke out at the City Council, and they plan to go out and raise funds to fight this incinerator. So you have the great majority of the Portuguese people now supporting the Ironbound Community Against Toxic Waste.
Okay, thank you very much, Art Rosa. Okay, now I'm with Frank Mavilla, who's a 10-year-old who lives down here in the Ironbound. Frank, what do you think about this garbage incinerator?
See, I'm going to live the rest of my life here, and I don't like this because mostly I've been getting bronchitis almost every year, and this could even make it worse for me. I'm saying this because everyone could get sick from this.
Are you afraid for your future?
Yes.
Why? You say you have bronchitis. Do you think that this will harm it?
Yes, I would say that, yes.
You would say that. Okay, thank you, Frank.
The fight against the garbage incinerator is a long and hard fight. We've already had a long and hard fight with a large corporation by the name of SCA on 100 Lister Avenue. SCA wanted to put a toxic waste incinerator less than 500 feet from where people live. The Ironbound Community Corporation, the Ironbound Committee Against Toxic Waste, fought long and hard on that one. And here's June to give you a couple of words about the story of that fight. June?
I'm June Krzyzewski, as you all know, and I've been affiliated with the Ironbound Committee Against Toxic Waste for the last 6 years or more. Now, we've been fighting constantly to keep toxics out of our neighborhood. SCA tried to put an incinerator right on their own site, which is right next to where the dioxin was found, on Lister Avenue. We went up to the council, we fought, we demonstrated, we marched up Ferry Street in August of last year. I don't know if you remember that, but we marched up to the DEP. And when we got up to Raymond Boulevard and their offices, they wouldn't let us go upstairs because there was too many of us. So we asked them to send someone down to talk to us and answer our questions about SCA. They sent a man down who didn't even know where the Ironbound was. And this is the way we had to fight. For the last 3 years we kept fighting. We wouldn't give up. And so finally we found out that SCA has now withdrawn their permit to build the incinerator. So that's one fight we won. But we're not satisfied, and we're going to keep right on fighting until we get rid of the rest of them around here, including Thomas Street and the garbage incinerator. We don't need any more pollution here in the Ironbound, and we're going to see to it that we don't have any more. Thank you.
I'm Incinerator introduzir palavra por palavra, vou só dar uma ideia geral daquilo que a June disse. Esta luta tem vindo já desde há vários anos, talvez há 5, e estava proposto um incinerador também para o Ironbound da companhia SCA. Esse incinerador, portanto, June lutou contra ele, não só ela, mas várias pessoas do Ironbound, e dirigiram-se aos escritórios do SCA. Não foram permitidos entrar porque deram a desculpa de que era muita gente. Então pediram uma pessoa para alertar para esse facto e para vir aqui ao Ironbound e responder às perguntas que as pessoas tinham que fazer. Acontece que a pessoa mandada nem sequer sabia onde era o Ironbound. A luta continuou e continuou com o apoio de todos os residentes, e a conclusão a que se chegou é que o SCA apenas desistiu dessa proposta resultante dessa campanha desses esforços desde há numerosos anos. Portanto, a June diz que, e todos nós sabemos, que esta luta não pode parar aqui. Foi apenas uma vitória no meio de muitas batalhas, mas é um passo em frente e vamos continuar e vamos esperar que este incinerador na Blanchard Street não vá para a frente. Por isso, contamos convosco. Muito obrigada.
Although we won on SCA, we still have this garbage incinerator to fight. Our next speaker has spent many hours of research, reading detailed reports about the garbage incinerator. He's taken what he's learned and put it down into language for all of us to understand. They say that knowledge is power. Our next speaker has given the people of Ironbound that power. I'd like to introduce Bob Cartwright to talk about the dangers of the garbage incinerator. Bob? Just got to hold them together.
Do you want to speak and Jenna translate, or do you want to speak? Translate?
Yeah, I'll go back and forth.
Oh, all right.
All right?
All right, fine.
Because it'll be all belong.
All right.
Thank you very much. The only reason that Ironbound was chosen to be the site for this garbage incinerator is because the Essex County government and the Port Authority knew that they could not get the garbage incinerator built anywhere else in the county.
Muito obrigado. A razão por que o Ironbound foi escolhido para a instalação deste incinerador foi pura e simplesmente porque a autoridade portuária e a execução do condado do Essex sabia que não iria permitir, outros condados não iriam permitir a sua construção. Foi essa a razão por que escolheram o Ironbound.
What they thought is that no suburban community would take a garbage incinerator. Nobody would put up with it. What they also thought is that the people in Ironbound were weak, that we were divided, and that we would not be able to stand up to the combined power of the Port Authority and the Essex County government.
Eles pensaram que as pessoas nos subúrbios não iriam permitir a instalação do incinerador nos seus lugares. Pensaram também que nós, aqui no Ironbound, éramos fracos e estávamos divididos e por isso não nos uniríamos contra um assunto como este. Foi isso que eles pensaram.
But we've showed them. We've showed them that Ironbound was united. We've showed them that every ethnic group in Ironbound has come together in order to fight this. And most of all, what we've showed them is that we have found the power amongst ourselves to stand up, to fight like hell, and to have them quaking in their boots.
Hi, we wanted to talk to some of the guests here tonight at the dinner dance to find out what their feelings are about this incinerator proposal. With me now is Dottie Johnson, who lives at Hyatt Court, about 1.5 miles away from the proposed site. Dottie, what's your feeling about this proposed incinerator?
Well, I really don't care for it, and I'm quite sure everybody in Ironbound feels the same way. In fact, it is detrimental to each and every one of our health, the older people as well as the younger generation. And if we do not stop this right now, it will go on forever and ever. And we must fight, continue to fight, to stop this incinerator from coming to our community.
And Dottie, are you going to stay in that fight and keep going?
Yes, I shall.
Great, thanks very much. With me now is Richard Camerari, the Executive Director of the Newark Coalition for Neighborhoods. Richard, the Coalition for Neighborhoods has supported the Ironbound Group in their effort to stop this incinerator. What has been the position of the coalition?
Well, Vic, as you know, the Newark Coalition for Neighborhoods is a coalition of community-based organizations located throughout Newark in every ward of the city. The Ironbound Community Corporation is one of our members, and they presented to us their studies, their information. We evaluated that along with the information we received from the Port Authority and the county, and we felt as a collective group that there was enough doubt about the technology being promoted regarding the garbage incinerator that we should oppose it, that we should support the Ironbound Group in their opposition to it. And we're hoping that with the solidarity we can provide as community-based organizations, that we can make people understand that it's a citywide issue, it's not just an Ironbound issue, and that while we're concerned about waste disposal, it's a regional concern, it's a local concern, we still cannot just let any kind of solution be used, because the solution might prove worse than the initial problem itself.
Okay, thank you, Richard Camerari from the Newark Coalition for Neighborhoods. I'm with Anita De Silva, a resident of the Ironbound. Anita, what do you feel about this proposal of creating this garbage incinerator here in the Ironbound?
I feel this would be very detrimental to our community, and I feel it's an insult not to have consulted the people of the Ironbound and to impose this on us when this is a thriving community. A great amount of people live here and work here and have built this community. People who have saved their money and reconstructed their houses, and now to force this on them is an injustice.
Do you feel that the community, the Portuguese community, will come together and oppose this proposal?
Absolutely. The Portuguese community has been very forceful in the Ironbound. They have more or less built the Ironbound, of course with other nationalities as well, but they are the people who will take, for example, an old home and reconstruct the thing from start to finish and have pride in their neighborhood. This would be very detrimental to their health, their children's health, and we just don't want to see this happen in our community.
Okay, thank you, Anita De Silva.
Okay.
With me now is Lee Gagliotti, a resident and businesswoman of the Ironbound section. Lee, what do you think the effects will be on the neighborhood of this toxic incinerator?
I think the effects would be very bad, and I don't think our city elected officials have done their job, because if they had decided this was the best answer for the incinerator, they would have given us reasons why and compared every alternative system, which they didn't. And if they could put a price on human life, then I don't see how they could have possibly come with this answer. And
do you feel afraid for yourself and your family?
Yes, I am, and we don't intend giving up on this fight. We're going to fight until we win, and we're going to educate all the voters in the East Ward to vote issues and not candidates in the future.
And one of the issues will be this garbage incinerator?
The very first issue will be the garbage incinerator.
Okay, thank you very much, Lee Gagliotti. I'm now here at the end of the dinner dance to raise funds against the garbage incinerator proposed for the Ironbound section of Newark. I'm here with Arnold Cohen and Madeline Hoffman, who have been working hard to stop this proposal. Arnold, let me ask you, was tonight a success?
Tonight was a tremendous success. We brought together about 250 people. We were able to celebrate, we were able to hear our message, and we raised over $5,000 in this fight against the garbage incinerator.
Do you think that the politicians will hear this message tonight?
I think they'll hear it loud and clear. I think we'll defeat this at the City Council, and I think it's going to put a real kink in the plans of Peter Shapiro to build a garbage incinerator in the Ironbound.
Madeline Hoffman, let me move you up here a bit. You've been working across the state with people who are faced with similar proposals like this. What do you think about tonight's event?
I think this was a tremendous event. I think it's very important that so many people came together to say one thing, and that is that they don't want this garbage incinerator in Ironbound. It's typical of what's happening all over the state. Wherever these garbage incinerators are proposed, people are doing very similar things, and the combined strength of all these communities will help to defeat this incinerator here in Newark and elsewhere in the state.
Okay, well, you've heard it. We're here at Old Campino for Ironbound Insights. Thanks very much for joining us, and stay stay tuned with us. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and we'll have more update about the garbage incinerator proposed for the Ironbound section of Newark. Thanks a lot for joining us.